Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We are talking today about text message marketing and specifically how you can increase engagement through SMS marketing, automate text messages based on customer sales. And we have a lot of different retailers on today's call. Many of you are using our software, Celerant, and you're wanting to learn more about this awesome new integration we have. And frankly, I am really excited about it because this is something our retailers have wanted for a very long time. And so to be able to send out text message marketing and have it automated from your Celerant e-commerce website is a huge, huge new tool for our retailers. The best part is we're not even charging on the Celerant side for the integration. And of course, you'll need to work with OtterText, but on our side, it's a value add. We really want to encourage our retailers to use it, leverage it, because text message marketing is a really, really great way to get in front of more of your customers and really use it to complement your email marketing, which hopefully you're already doing with us as well. So before we jump in, a couple of quick things I want to mention. We are recording this session, so everybody who registered will get the recorded link shortly after the session. Also, I encourage you to ask questions. There is a question pane on the GoToWebinar panel. Just drop a question in there anytime you think of it, and we will save time at the end, probably 10 minutes or so at the end, to answer all of the questions. And with that, we will jump in. Before we start, just some quick introductions. Ben, I'll have you introduce yourself first.
Hi, everyone. I'm the founder and owner of OtterText, and I'll be showing off the demo when it comes to our software.
Awesome. And I am Michele Salerno. I'm the CGO here at Celerant. I work out of our main office, which is in New Jersey. We were always in New York, but now we've moved to New Jersey. I'm with Celerant for about 20 years, and we do webinars every month. So I'm glad to have everybody joining us today, and I'm really excited about today's topics. So first, for those of you who don't know OtterText, I'll have Ben give a quick intro, but I will say this: we have been integrated with Otter for several years now. You may remember, or it may be familiar to you, Otter Waiver, because we also have digital waivers integrated into our software platform. And Otter Waiver is also OtterText. OtterText is now the newer branch of the business. So Ben, give us a little intro.
Yeah, most definitely. So OtterText was founded in 2022 when we had about 20 retailers come to us, ask us to build a custom solution for the firearms industry. We first started OtterText for the firearms industry to fill a hole for firearms, alcohol, and tobacco for those three industries that couldn't send text messages. And as we got better and better with the software, we realized that we really had an edge when it came to e-commerce, when it came to being able to track sales, run automations, and do a lot of easy stuff even for unregulated industries. So we've been specializing in that since 2022 and really been expanding in the e-commerce space, which is why we're now integrated with Celerant.
Awesome. And that picture there we took at the SHOT Show, that's Lola, Ben's dog, who, for those of you who know Ben, Lola goes everywhere with Ben. She's there somewhere. There she is. I will say too, because you know, we are talking a lot about the firearms, the hunt, camp, fish industry today. There's a lot of specific regulations there, but this integration, much like our Celerant software, it goes beyond even that market. We have retailers at Celerant really in every hard and soft goods market. Of course, we have a big footprint in all things hunt, camp, fish. But even our OtterText integration and this service across the board is for all retailers of every market. So for those of you who are not Celerant clients, just a quick slide about who we are here at Celerant. We've been offering omni-channel retail solutions for over 25 years. We have 8 different offices all over the country and even some international. We've got about 235 team members. So we've definitely grown over the years, but really what we pride ourselves in is just helping retailers streamline their business in store, online, all in one system. So we actually have 2 systems that retailers can choose from. And on the lower part of the screen there, you see Cumulus and Stratus. Cumulus is our lighter, more cost-effective solution for really those smaller merchants. And then Stratus Enterprise is our more advanced retail solution. So a great point is you can start small with Cumulus and you can add on as you grow. And then eventually you can just upgrade to Stratus when hopefully you're ready for a more enterprise solution. All right, so we will jump in. We really are just going to talk about text message marketing today. So first, we're going to hit on the compliance aspect. Many of the retailers, not all, I think about 60% is what we saw, are in the hunt, camp, fish market who are on this call today. So we're going to talk specifically about different restrictions. We're going to talk about S.H.A.F.T and TCPA and 10 DLC. Now, if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, don't worry, Ben's going to walk us through it in a couple of minutes. We're also going to focus on how using a connected system really makes everything much easier and how you can automate it. You can create workflows and you can really automate this new way to market with your customers through a fully connected system, whether it's our eCommerce or eCommerce and just a text message platform like OtterText. Abandoned cart emails, shipping notifications, customer communications, even support, customer service. We're going to give you a demo of all of that today. And then we're also going to show you the ROI and some analytics, because there are some really cool analytics capabilities within OtterText. And so we're going to walk you through all that on the live demo, which will be really the second half of today's session. So before we jump in to Ben's slides talking about compliance, I always love asking a poll question, just so we make sure we know exactly who is on the call today, and it really helps us frame how in-depth we go in certain areas based on who's doing what. So I'm going to load the first poll here. Give me 1 second. And the question is, how do you engage with your customers? So I'm going to launch it. And you guys should see that now. So how do you engage with your customers? Just go ahead and select the option that is most applicable to you and your business. How do you engage with your customers? I need to do more. I send emails to my customers. A lot of our retailers use our integrated email marketing platform, so you're probably already sending emails. I send SMS text messages to my customers. And lastly, I send emails and text messages to my customers. Oh, I see a few people are selecting that last one. That's awesome. All right, we have 60% who have voted. So I'm going to give it another couple of seconds. We're at 70%. Go ahead and click which one is most applicable. And I'm going to close the poll. There we go. And I'm going to share it. All right. So 50% selected I need to do more, which is a great reason why I'm sure you're here today. So this is good. We can show you exactly how you can do more. 42% I send emails. So probably a lot of you are our Celerant customers who are likely using our integrated platform. But just like with our integrated platform, how you can send automated triggered emails based on actions or triggers in the software. It's the same concept here with the text message marketing. And then we had nobody selected I send SMS messages, but then we did have 8% who said they're already doing both. So kudos to those people. And let me hide this. All right, so even if you're already sending emails and text message marketing to your customers, I really do think you will learn something new today. And as I always say, these webinars, even if you learn 1 or 2 little nuggets, it's worth your time. All right, so first we're going to hit on compliance, because a lot of people don't even realize when it comes to text message marketing, there's a lot of compliance pieces to this, which is why it can be a challenge to actually accomplish this. So I'm going to have Ben take over these slides and walk us through all the different aspects of compliance.
So the biggest part of compliance that everyone needs to know about starting today is TCPA. It's the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. It's the governing laws that are in place to make sure that you're not spamming people when it comes to text messages or people are on do not call lists. And if you do, and you're caught, you can receive fines between $500 and $1,500. So we like to avoid all that when it comes to working with anyone in the texting market. So why does it matter? It matters in multiple reasons. If you're in the firearms industry, you have to follow what's considered S.H.A.F.T guidelines that we'll go over in the next slide. But for non-firearm people, we have to make sure that you have proper opt-ins in place, you're getting people's consent, and you're making sure that everything is tracked appropriately, which we like to handle very simply in a white glove approach. Now, what is S.H.A.F.T? S.H.A.F.T stands for Sex, Hate, Alcohol, Firearms, and Tobacco. The three categories that you can actually work in is just alcohol, firearms, and tobacco. And as we have it pulled up on the slide right here, we show that things related to tobacco which are not allowed is vape, CBD, cigarettes, and cannabis and THC. So the only thing you can really advertise if you're in the industry of tobacco is cigars only and cigar accessories. Now, we have dealt with some people in the tobacco industry that they sell cigars and they sell vape, and we just tell them up front, it's like, if you want to get approved by the carriers, you have to make sure that you remove the vape products from your website because it will not get approved whatsoever. Now, the nice...
Yeah, and that's, I'm sorry, Ben, that's an important point because we do have retailers who are vape shops. And quite a few of them, when we announced our new integration with OtterText, quite a few of them reached out to our team asking if we can use this text message platform for their businesses. And unfortunately, the answer is not yet, right, Ben? I think you're working maybe towards something there, but currently we can't support vape shops with this platform because of this restriction here.
Yeah, they make it very, very to the point with the carriers that they won't take anyone that's separate from cigars. But anyone that has a vape shop that also sells cigars, you could technically just remove the vape products. We can get you approved, and then you'd have to make sure you only advertise cigars, and that's it. As soon as you touch a vape, you'll be canceled instantly from the carriers.
Yep.
So how do we handle this challenge? We handle it in multiple ways. Number one, our system is set up for the S.H.A.F.T industry so that we know if you fall into one of these categories for alcohol, firearms, tobacco. We make sure all the compliance is set up when you start your account. And then we also do a white glove approach to make sure your website has everything it needs. We work directly with the Celerant team for the e-commerce platforms to make sure that you have proper opt-in language on your cart, your contact page, as well as any other form. And then we also add an age gate to the website that's 21 plus, as well as making sure a proper privacy policy is in place. So the nice thing about that with our relationship with Celerant is we handle that all for you, and you really don't have to think about it. We try to take care of everything very seamlessly for anyone in the S.H.A.F.T category. Now, what are the compliance requirements? For S.H.A.F.T, it requires a 21 plus age gate. I know the biggest question everyone asks anytime in a webinar like this is, I've seen someone that has a yes and no question for 18, or I've seen someone with a yes and no question for 21. You can never get approved with the carriers for a yes and no question. That's why we've actually built a custom age gate for this industry, and it's month, day, year, because we know what language needs to be on it, and we know how to get you to pass compliance with the carriers. The next that I already went over was the cart opt-in language, which is really simple. New account creation, opt-in language, contact page opt-in language, and the 10 DLC privacy policy update. But we take care of everything and work with Celerant to make sure that's very seamless.
And we're going to look at a demo in a little bit, and we're going to show you this on one of our retailer sites too. Let me switch the slide. Sorry, Ben.
No worries. So what does it take to get set up, and what are the different types of phone numbers you can use? The most popular that people see all day long is a 10-digit long code. We can also SMS enable your landline at your store as well. We see about 20% of our clients that like that, because then they can tell their customers, you can call us or you can text us, and we can send all the messages through there. The next type of number is considered a shortcode, which everyone has probably seen. I think the most popular is any Subway ad, which is text Subway to 5555. We can set up shortcodes depending on what plan you're on. And then the last one is toll-free, and toll-free is a 1-800 number. The difference between the three is a 10-digit long code. It's all about speed. It can only send up to 60,000 messages a day. It sends at 240 per minute. A short code sends 60,000 a minute and can send millions a day. And a toll-free sends about 1,500 a minute. So it really depends on your customer size list for what phone number is perfect for you. And the nice thing about us handling registration for you with carriers is we make sure the carriers audit you no matter what type of company you are. So you're properly approved. They know the traffic that's going to be sent through, and it makes sure that you're following TCPA compliance, CTIA compliance, as well as 10 DLC compliance with carriers. I just love using acronyms.
Well, and let me ask two questions here, because I know a lot of our retailers have asked about this. The long code, the short code, of course, the short code sounds better, right? You can send much more volume, but that short code is quite expensive, right?
Correct. We actually have a plan in our pricing that we include it in the plan for a generic code. But if you want a custom code created, if it spells a word or if it's multiple digits, non-generic short codes can cost $1,500 a month.
A month, yeah. So of course, depending on the size of your business and how much volume you're doing, $1,500 a month just for that short code is it's quite an investment. So for most everybody on today's call, I'm gonna guess it's probably that 10-digit long code is gonna be the better route, more cost effective.
100%. I typically advise, if you're looking at a short code, make sure you're sending at least 1 million text messages a month. And it actually
1 million. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yep.
Talk a little bit too about putting you on the spot here, but talk about the registration process, because I know one thing you had said to me a while ago is that it can take a while, and it's a full process here as you showed, but you handle everything on behalf of the merchant, right?
100%. If you're in Canada, the process takes 1 hour. If you're in the United States, it can take up to 14 days. That's the difference between a country with tons of regulations. Sometimes it's quicker. Non-firearm people tend to get approved in 5 business days. Firearm, alcohol, and tobacco typically takes 10 business days on average right now. But the thing about it is, since we handle it all for you, it's hands off. You'll get notified as soon as you're approved, and then we'll jump back into an onboarding demo to make sure we get everything set up in your account.
Awesome. Okay.
So we went over most of this already, but just to reiterate, we take care of everything under one platform to make sure that you pass compliance, you're following guidelines properly. We have ongoing monitoring and alerts to make sure that if you do something wrong, you're instantly notified. I won't lie, sometimes we do scold people when they don't follow the regulations inside of our platform, but everybody makes a mistake. So we take care of that and make sure that you don't do it again. I think the biggest ongoing compliance issue that we see with most customers is trying to send a Bentley link because you want to like shorten a web link when you're sending a text message. And
explain what that is for the audience, just in case they don't know what that term means.
So a Bentley link is when you want to link shrink. So if your link is this big and you want to shrink it to this big, maybe like 9 characters, You might use a third-party software to be able to shrink the link. Whenever you do that, the carriers register that as spam. So it does two bad things for you. Number one, you instantly have a very high undeliverability rate, and then your phone number gets graded poorly from the carriers because they flag you as spam. So typically what I recommend to anyone that wants to send an individual link on a product is work with your team at Celerant, make a hidden page that's your domain /SMS deals. And then whenever you want to push out a custom deal, you send it to that link that's hidden on your website. And then it allows you to have a shorter link instead of sending a long link for an individual product.
Oh, that's a great nugget. I'm going to ask you too, yesterday you mentioned, we were talked about the temptation for a retailer to input their entire phone list of customers that they might have for the past 15 or 20 years, right? Can you talk a little bit about why you should not do that?
Number one, people have to opt in for consent.
Yes.
Number two, we don't check your consent, meaning if you tell us people opted in, we'll upload your list for you. But the bad thing about doing that is it's people you haven't communicated with. In the last 5 months, I have a great example. We uploaded a client yesterday and they have actually been collecting opt-ins for the last 2 years. And so we actually separated them into 3 buckets. We had 2025, which was like 6,000 people. And then we have 2024, which was like 16,000. And then I told them, I was like, anyone before 2024, I consider a cold reach out because they have not touched you in 16 months. And whenever you're touching those people, especially when you upload a list that's like 20 years old, and I would assume they never opted in, you're going to be texting people that have not heard from you. They're wondering why they're getting this.
Or their phone number changed.
Or their phone number.
It's not even accurate.
So you run into all those issues. The nice thing about us is when we upload a list for you that passes compliance, we actually run every single number through an API to double check to make sure it's an actual cell phone number. Because we had seen in the past 2 years ago, people were actually uploading landlines without realizing it was landlines, and that causes an issue with the carriers wondering why you're texting landlines.
Yeah. All right. All right, we're going to keep it moving. I have another poll question here, so I'm going to flip it up. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm going to launch it. What type of SMS campaigns do you send to customers? What type of campaigns do you send? First option is I don't send text messages at all. Next, I use text for customer communication and support only. So really not for marketing. Next is I send bulk text message marketing to my entire customer base. And lastly, the next one is I automate text messages triggered from sales and customer data. And then the last one is I send all of the messages listed above. Or we could just call that I am a rock star. No, I'm kidding.
It's true though.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you're doing everything there, then you really are crushing it on your digital marketing. All right, we have 45% voted, low number, so hopefully everybody's, there we go, 60%. All right, go ahead and drop your, yeah, see, this is what I was thinking. All right. All right, we're at 70%. I'm gonna give it like 5 more seconds and then I'm gonna close the poll. Okay, I'm gonna close that and I'm gonna share it. So 67% don't send text messages yet at all. 25% do, but really just for customer communication and support only. And then 8% send bulk text message marketing, and nobody for the last 2. Which is awesome, because then everybody here is going to learn something, because that next option, I automate text messages triggered from sales and customer data, is really what we're showing you today. And of course, that's what we are already doing on the email marketing front. And I'm sure a lot of our customers on today's call are doing that. So I'm going to talk really quick about RetailSoftware. I'm not going to get into this much at all because we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about text messaging. But for those of you who are not our Celerant clients, just so that you are aware, we have two systems that we do offer retailers. Like I mentioned, we've got Cumulus, we've got Stratus. There's a little description there for each system, but really Cumulus is for small business, Stratus is for more advanced retailers. But really the only point I want to make here is that both systems integrate with OtterText. And again, we don't charge anything on our side for the integration. We actually are encouraging our clients to use this and really help them better market their business and their websites. So we're going to look in a minute at a demo. So first I'll just talk about the integration. You see here Simmons Sporting Goods, that's one of our retailers. That's the site we're going to show you today. We have built this integration on the Celerant side to hook up and sync with OtterText. So all you have to do is let your account rep know at Celerant that you want to put this on your website. We will open the project, get it set up. It's pretty quick. Of course, you need to talk to Ben and his team, get set up on his side. But once you're ready, we just connect everything through the integration, and you can set up text messages, automate those campaigns, and it'll all just flow. So as soon as sales are made on the site, as soon as the customer opts in, which I'm going to show you in just a second, all of that is connected straight through to Otter through our integration. So there's no manual entry needed on your end. It all just flows. And then when a customer makes a purchase, as long as they check off and opt in to receiving text messages, then automatically you can send order confirmations, shipping notifications, you can do abandoned cart emails, you can do all sorts of promotional emails, and we're going to look at that in a minute. So we're going to do the demo. I'm going to start us off looking at, all right, so you know what? I don't think we're going to see the age gate because I've already been on the website multiple times today. But yesterday and if you go on this website, this is simmonssportinggoods.com. If you go on the website, you'll see the age gate pop up. I filled it out already, so it's not asking me again, but it did ask me my birthday, my month, my date, my year to make sure that I am of age. So now I'm going to show first here in the lower right corner. By the way, this is a Celerant Stratus e-commerce website, just so that everybody's aware. We can build custom Stratus websites like this one. And then of course, we also have Cumulus e-commerce websites as well. So down here on the lower right, if you can see the little icon that says text us, you can click on that and I can just input my information. Oh, and I'll put my birthday there and I'll just ask a question. I'm just going to say test text so I don't confuse the Simmons team like I did yesterday. And I'm going to just push send. And as soon as I send that, it goes off to Simmons. And you get this little note here, we received your message. Our team will be texting you back from the number above. I simultaneously got a text on my phone. And I'm sure I'm going to get a response from the Simmons team pretty instantly, just like I did yesterday. And then I can start texting and communicating with Simmons via my phone. And that's if I have questions. I have questions about a product, or in this case, an upcoming hunt, or anything that I want to ask Simmons about. So next I'm going to show you, let's go to clothing. And yeah, we can go here. So it doesn't matter what you're purchasing. Your customers can go ahead and purchase, fill their cart. I'm going to just order this Vortex blue. Okay, I'm going to view the cart. Oh, I had some shorts here from my shopping earlier. All right, so I'm going to go to the checkout. It does verify that you are a human because unfortunately there's all kinds of online fraud happening these days. All right, so I think I'm already in here as a customer. And then when I go down to, let's see, where was it? Was it here? Yeah. As you're going through, I'm not going to click all the buttons, but as you're going through the cart, there's a little area here. Let me pull it up higher so everybody can see it. I can do in-store pickup. I can, whatever you want to do. But right here, here's the text. I'll read it because it's probably too small for you guys to see. By providing your phone number, you consent to receive text message communications from us. You may reply stop anytime to cancel text notifications or help for assistance. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. View terms and privacy, and they can click on that and they can read more. But I'm going to just click it because as soon as your customers click it, you're good. And then it's going to put their phone number into OtterText. Even if you're not using OtterText yet, or even if you're going to use something else for texting, I recommend that you add this to your website because, like Ben was saying, that customer he was referring to, they were collecting phone numbers and opt-ins, most importantly, opt-ins for a year or two. So you need to start collecting these opt-ins. And you can even do email campaigns to your existing customer base. You can get creative and do all kinds of things. But they have to opt in either by doing this or by filling out that little form on the homepage. All right, I'm not going to finish this order because I think you guys get the idea. I'm going to flip it over to Ben, and he's going to pick it up. All right, Ben, I just made you presenter. Ben is going to show on his side now what it looks like in the OtterText platform.
All right, give me 1 second.
No problem. So again, in this instance, a customer, myself, was on Simmons Sporting Goods. I put a whole bunch of stuff in my cart. I completed the transaction. In doing so, I clicked yes, I opt in. And now, Ben, great, we see your screen.
Perfect. So as you see right here, we can see Michelle's message come right into the system. The nice thing about, adding a widget like that to your website is...
Oh, Ben, I'll say real quick. You see, Hunter was busting my chops yesterday. He replied back and he said, it's broken from Hunter. He was just kidding. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So one of the nice things about adding that to your website is we hear this all the time, especially in the e-commerce and retail space. If a customer can't reach out to a human, they reach out in a negative way to be able to leave a bad review. And so in today's age, everyone wants the ability to be able to text someone that they're buying something from because they want a quick response. So the nice thing about this widget, if you use it or you don't, either way, when people send you a message on the web chat or they send you a message by replying back to a campaign, you're going to be notified when that new message comes in, and you can reply directly back to the person. We have several different ways for replying back to the person. You can use, depending on what plan, you can use our AI widget that you can click this button right here, and it's going to write a message for you. You can type a custom message back. If you wind up having a lot of customers like asking the same questions over and over again, we have a feature right here called templates. And what this does is it allows you to create custom templated responses based on tons of different use cases. For brick and mortar retail stores, we see a lot of those type of clients actually use this feature to be able to have a template for whenever someone asks, what's your hours? Or when are you open? Or in the firearm space, like I have questions about memberships, and be able to have like custom templated responses. I would say customers of mine that use this for customer service a lot, I've seen them have up to 50 different templated responses because they just want to make replying back to customers super, super easy. Another feature that you're going to get, especially with connecting to Celerant, is anytime you're communicating with a customer inside of here, after connecting to Celerant, you're going to be able to see their recent order, total orders, and total spent. Obviously, Michele hasn't completed her purchase, so we don't have this data in here. But in a typical circumstance, you'll be able to see all this data inside of here. You can also make custom notes on the customer as well. In the use case, you want to assign your inbox to multiple team members to have access. you can set up all your team members up here. And if you want to assign a message to someone else, you can, and it will automatically flag the message as unread and assign it to a different team member. Another cool feature that we have inside the system is we also allow you to do smart tags. Very similar if you've ever used Google or Gmail, they have the ability that you can add tags and tag different conversations. You can do the same thing in here, but we make it a little different utilizing AI. The first off, you can assign team members to a custom tag. And I'm just going to use the shooting sports industry example to kind of show you this. So if I want to make a tag and call it memberships, color code it, assign it to 2 of the guys in charge of memberships, I could then create custom keywords for this. And the reason for these keywords is anytime someone uses this keyword, when they send you back a text message, the system will automatically recognize that more than likely they should go into this smart tag because they're asking questions about memberships. And then it automatically assigns it to Todd and Mike because they're in charge of memberships. So this can be used in several different use cases to help sort your messages, especially when you might have like people asking about stuff out of stock, or support messages, membership, range questions. It can be used for practically anything when it comes to tagging inside the system. Another use case that retailers and e-commerce stores use is you might have the circumstance that you want to be able to either add a customer or add a customer and send a message. And this feature is great because of the fact if someone gave you verbal consent to receive a text message, you can type in their information here and you can send a direct message to them. If you're in the S.H.A.F.T industry, they'll receive the message first and then they'll be asked to finish opt-in with their birthday. If you're not in S.H.A.F.T and you're in the much easier industries to work with, they will automatically get the message and it's considered an opt-in because this works by someone giving you verbal consent. So these are a couple ways to be able to handle that customer service and interactions with your clients. Another feature, especially when it comes to our Celerant integration, is probably my favorite, and that is automations. With automations, I kind of call it the easy button when it comes to e-commerce because you can do several really good things with Celerant. Probably the first 3 automations we always recommend, and we also help you set up right away, is probably the #1 favorite is abandoned cart. We've seen when it comes to setting up an abandoned cart message via text versus email, we've seen that most of our clients average about a 47% average for cart recovery, and we can actually track that data inside the platform. So
wow.
when you,
yeah, that's impressive. And abandoned cart emails they are our #1 most popular automated email too on our email marketing platform because they're just also the highest return too. So that's impressive.
So mostly when you like come into the system, you just turn this on. It's going to supercharge what you're already doing with email. If you're getting like 10% already in email, this is going to supercharge that and get you another 30% from what's happening because a lot of people will automatically see those text messages. And I think the #1 question people ask me if you're already doing email cart conversion, they're like, how do we judge like what's working better? And it's not so much what's working better, it's like how much did we increase it? Like if you're doing 8% recovery on email and we're doing 12%, we only increased it 4%, but it's also an increase. So
well, I think too though, you know, email marketing and text message marketing, the two really should complement each other. If likely you're already doing email, like even the poll showed most everybody, the higher percentage is already doing email. They're not yet doing text, but really doing both and doing both effectively is what will really give you the biggest impact.
100% agree. And that's why we never recommend sending them both out at the same time. So
right.
you are sending out an email within 1 hour, you might want to adjust this and do it in 3 hours afterwards. It's just so that someone might have seen their email first and then you just reminded them again 3 hours later. So it's a nice pairing to do both for reminding them. And when it comes to like setting this up, you can customize the text message. We just have a preset template to make it easy, but inside the system, you can come down here and completely customize the message. Probably the next automation, that's probably my second favorite, is going to be the automatic retention booster. So the cool thing about this is all tied to the last time someone made a purchase on your e-commerce site. So if you want to do a win back strategy, you can set up how many days after the last purchase, say 60 days, and you can set up a custom text message to automatically hit your customers to win them back to make another purchase. So this is between the first one and this one, this is probably the first two that you'll instantly be able to see a return on investment by doing a win back.
And again, through the integration, I just want to reiterate, through our integration, OtterText knows this information because it's pulling the sales data and the customer data from our Celerant system.
Yep. And the cool thing about that is since we're pulling all that data, when you flip the switch right here in our system, we'll also calculate how much revenue you made from this text message, as well as what the ROI is. And this goes to both of the messages I just showed you recently, because we have all that sales data pushing in, which really allows you to be able to see a return on investment as well as numbers off the bat. And I'll show that with another active account later. Another great automation is probably a birthday automation. You can set up a birthday automation based upon someone's birthday, either send it the week of their birthday or the day of their birthday and give them a special promotion or code to use on your website. Another great one is probably a shipping notification. Go ahead and open this up. The cool thing about this, it goes back to what Michele said. If you're doing it via email, you can also do it via text and be able to make sure that people are seeing the message. But this message, since we have that data being pushed from Celerant, it's going to push in the person's first name, order ID information, as well as the tracking information for that shipment. And besides that, it's pretty much unlimited for automations you might think up and want to do. Maybe you want to do an automation based upon a certain type of purchase done online and you want to push a custom coupon to them. In the shooting sports industry, we actually see a lot of ranges want to do a custom coupon. If someone purchases a gun and they have a range, they might push a coupon for, hold on one second. It's in Dad's lap. You might push a coupon for doing a training class, or you might push a coupon for 10% off accessories based on that type of purchase. So in the other retail space, you might look at the same. If they spend a certain amount of money, maybe we want to push them a coupon for their next purchase to do online. So we can build custom automations from scratch, or we can use pre-built automations that we already have in the system.
And I just want to mention too, the order confirmations, the shipping notifications for our retailers. If you're using our integrated shipping, all of that data is getting pushed through. So these are just templates that you're creating in the OtterText platform. And then this can automatically all flow without you doing anything. Once it's all set up, it's going to automatically pull the customer's name, the order number, and even the shipping update if you're using our integrated shipping on the Celerant side.
Most definitely. So before I dive into bulk texting and seeing an active account when it comes to bulk marketing, I want to go over a little bit about how you can grow your audience and stay within compliance that we talked about a little bit ago. Right off the bat, we already went over this, but right off the bat, you're going to be able to do the e-commerce checkout automation with Celerant, which allows you to instantly be able to pull those contact information directly into your system. No matter if you're connected with us today or you're connected with us a year from now, it's really, really good to be able to add that checkbox and make sure that you're constantly collecting that information to be able to text those customers.
And you
The
know what
next,
I'm going to say, Ben? Where's our logo over there? You gotta add the. Come on now. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know you're not kidding, but we will update it. Don't worry. Another way you can drive opt-ins is through our custom website pop-up. This allows you to be able to create a custom pop-up if you want to collect a phone number and email or just a phone number. And it allows you to also create a custom automated text message to send to them with a custom discount code. I'm sure all of you have probably seen this on other e-commerce websites that you're like, yeah, I want to get 10% off my order today. And you fill out the information to opt in for text marketing. So that's another great way to be able to grow those opt-ins. Two other ways to grow the opt-in is number one, like creating a custom contact form or using a pre-made contact form on our website for taking care of opt-ins. If you also have an in-store brick and mortar store, you can also create a custom flyer to go next to every register. And so you can encourage your staff to tell every single person before they check out, hey, while I'm ringing this up, you should scan this QR code and sign up for our text-only promotions that we'll be sending out. So those are all great ways to be able to grow your audience, stay compliant, and be able to grow your list constantly.
And even that one with the pop-up, if you don't want to do $20 off, you can do, if you're already even offering free shipping, you can just change your website. So, you know, you can give free shipping if they sign up. Or if you don't do free shipping, give them free shipping if they sign up. Just a really good way to get people to opt in and get your list growing pretty quickly.
Yep, absolutely. So give me a second to open up another account that's active, and I'm going to dive into bulk texting.
And Ben, just to be mindful of time, we have about probably 8 minutes left for the demo, and then we'll jump into the last slide or two and then some Q&A.
All right, I will speed up the last portion. All right, looks like this is showing the wrong screen. Michelle, do you see a screen that says Shop Black Rifle?
Sorry, I was on mute. I see campaigns. Now I see your homepage.
All right, campaigns, perfect. All right, so once you have a built up audience list that's being pulled in from Celerant or some of the many options to be able to grow your list, this is when you can start diving into being able to send out bulk campaigns. So here's a great example for a customer of ours. They sent out a campaign, no picture message, just a regular text message. Since we're tracking everything that's purchased inside the system, we're able to show their campaign cost that they spent, which is $52, and they generated $896 in sales, accounting for an ROI of 1,600%. So that is one of the coolest things with our integration with Celerant eCom, is the fact that we're able to track campaigns that you build inside the system, so you can instantly see, hey, what campaign is doing well, what can I improve upon, and what did horribly. Like, here's a sample campaign. This wasn't as good. It was only 168% ROI. Better than Google, since firearms can't advertise on Google, but in my opinion, that's actually a bad campaign. I tend to always want over 1,000% ROI and making sure that you actually have a good campaign that's going to deliver. This is a current one that they're sending out right now. That's how the system works, is when you send out a campaign, you set parameters for when your sell dates are, and based on those sell dates, we're calculating to see if Ben received or Michelle received a text message, did they make a purchase during these windows? So we calculate the full cost once the campaign date ends, and then you're able to see your return on investment as well as your ROI on these campaigns. Some of the cool things is when you start using the system a lot, this is the dashboard and the data that you're going to see inside the system. We're going to show you how much money we generated through automations, such as abandoned cart, how much money was generated through bulk campaigns, how much was generated through other types of automations, and more. So in this circumstance with this client, year to date, they're actually averaging a 5,500% ROI, and it's mostly based around automations that they're running and abandoned cart. And that's why I really encourage, like, when utilize the automations with Celerant, you're going to actually always see a higher ROI because it's always based upon the transaction data coming in from Celerant, which is amazing.
And I want to just pause the screen for just a second. The marketing cost was in this particular case, it was $567. And the revenue generated just from those text messages directly tied back was equal to $32,139. And that's pretty incredible. That's
right here, they actually haven't sent any bulk campaigns this year. So that's all being generated through automations and abandoned cart.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy numbers. And that is about it. Let me just double check my list since we're short on time. So just to recap, 3 different ways you can utilize the system is number 1, customer service with our inbox. Number 2 is automations to be able to get a high ROI off the bat. Number 3 is sending out bulk campaigns for any type of sales promotion. And some of the other things and use cases you can use it for that I'll just show you quite simply.
Oh, I flipped it back to me already. Sorry.
No worries. I'll just say it, even though you're on the screen. Another use case that you can do with the Celerant e-commerce data is you can also do list segmenting based on customer data, last purchase, where they're located, and more.
Yeah. And our intent today was just to show a quick demo. Of course, if you want to have a more comprehensive one-on-one demo, Ben is eager to schedule that with you. All right, so we're gonna summarize all of this, and then we're gonna get to some questions. We have quite a few questions that came in. So Ben, take us through, I think, the next 2 slides, and then I'll wrap it up.
Perfect. So as you saw, we're very flexible on how you want to use the system. We have people that use it just for customer service. We have people that use it just for marketing. And then we have the superstars that use it for everything, which is where you're going to get the highest return on investment. As well as when you really want to like narrow it down and get a higher ROI, that's when smart filters and list segmentation is going to allow you to spend $10 to go make $500 instantly. Some of the analytics and tracking that we are able to do with Celerant is what you just saw a little bit ago, and that is campaign deliverability. We're going to be able to track all the analytics when it comes to deliverability based on the carrier, deliverability with the message, as well as being able to see your return on investment, how much you spent, and your average revenue per text generated, as well as if you're utilizing Celerant e-commerce and maybe Stratus in store. We also have the ability that you can actually log sales manually for anything that's done in stores separate from online.
All right. So, really what we always talk about at Celerant is the benefits of using an integrated system and being able to manage your entire business and have it all connected, have all the data connected. And this is yet another example of that. So of course, this is using the OtterText system combined with Celerant, as a lot of our partnerships are, but it's still connected. It's all integrated, saving you a ton of time, saving all sorts of manual data entry, which of course eliminates mistakes and just saves time and just helps automate things When you have to do things manually, you always have, I mean, I'll speak for myself, but I know our retailers too, we always have the right intent, and then we get busy and we get just caught up in everything else. And so we lose time and forget to do everything. So when you have it all automated, it's just happening behind the scenes. And the templates are set up. Ben's team can help you set it all up. And then you just come in and you'll see the ROI reports, and it's all just automated. So it's a win-win. But with our Celerant software, for those of you who are not working with us yet, we also enable you to really integrate all aspects of your business within our systems, whether it's in-store, online, e-commerce, mobile apps, marketplace integrations. It's all connected with connected on-hand data. And as soon as a sale is made, it reflects in all your channels. And of course, with integrations like this, it all reflects instantly as well. So that concludes the presentation. We still have 4 minutes left. We have some questions already rolling in. If you have any questions, there's a question pane on the GoToWebinar. Just send that right over. Couple links here on the screen. Celerant.com/OtterText. That is the link on our website. If you are a Celerant client and you're interested in getting started, you can visit that page. And right at the top, you see the screenshot. That's what that page looks like. There's that big red button at the top that says Get Integration. Just fill that out, and then we will be in touch with you. And that is really how you start the process if you want to learn more. Of course, you can also reach out to OtterText directly and schedule a demo, or just ask questions there as well. The contact info is there. All right, so Ben, we have a couple of questions here. First one is, how long does it take to get set up, and how quick can I be sending text messages?
It depends if you're firearms or not. If you're in the firearms space, it can be as short as 10 business days. That's what we're getting in April right now. If you're not in the firearms space, we've seen as close as 4 days.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. Next question from Kira. This looks like it's probably more on my side. For the buy, sell, trade aspect of Celerant, an automated text upon the completion of a customer's buy, so they know they can return and collect their cash or trade, would be incredible. Is this a possibility down the line? And if so, how long could this upgrade take if you were interested in integrating this capability? So for phase 1, we have integrated to our e-commerce, and so that's what's available today to do everything we looked at here. Phase 2, Ben and I are going to talk more about integrating OtterText also to our point of sale and our core retail software, and that's where the buy trade lives. That's where some of the other in-store functionality lives. So once we expand this integration and bring in the in-store, that's when something like that could be available. And I agree. I think that's an awesome workflow to set up. So I'll be in touch, as soon as I know more and we figure out a date there as to when we're going to expand that. Next question is from John. Are the coupon codes added into the Celerant system automatically? Can customers use coupons in store? So that would be, assuming you're talking about the coupon codes that Ben popped up, where we can put that on the website to incentivize opt-ins. And so, Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that is currently integrated, but that is something we could explore.
So how people are currently using it, and this is through all our e-commerce integrations, is you're just creating a custom coupon code that you set up in an automation for that pop-up, and you're using the same one. We're not like generating new ones every time that happens. The second is when it comes to in-store, typically the best way to handle in-store promotions is put in the text message, show this text at checkout to get this discount. And then that is how you handle in-store.
Cool. All right, next one. Will OtterText track ROI for just brick and mortar or just online sales?
So we automatically track it for online sales, and then we have brick and mortars that manually enter in sales. but I'll be honest, most of my brick and mortars that don't have a direct connection, they actually just track the first 60 days. And when they see that, yes, this works, I'm confident it works, they just stop tracking because they just know that it works.
Awesome. All right, we have time for one last question. And this is always the most popular question. How much does this text message marketing cost? So I'm going to pull up actually a quick screen here. I think I have it up. Here it is. So I will reiterate that on the Celerant side, as again for Celerant customers, we don't charge anything on our side. We consider it a value add. So there's no cost to integrate. And then Ben, I'll let you speak to, you can see my screen, right?
That's your screen. So if you're interested in checking out pricing, definitely go to ottertext.com/pricing. How our pricing plans work is you have a monthly fee, as you see, starting at $99 to $399. And then based on that monthly fee, you're going to get a discounted rate for SMS and MMS. MMS stands for multimedia, so that's pictures. So at the $99 plan, you're paying 5 cents per text message versus going to the Pro plan, you're paying 0.0079 per message. But the best way to find out how much is this actually going to cost me is you can actually scroll down the page, and we have a pricing calculator built in down here that if you know how many text messages you might be sending, you can put in the amounts right here, and it's going to automatically show you the best plan and the best rate based on how much you want to send.
Cool. And as I was scrolling, I saw that Shortcode. So that option is there available too, if you're doing that type of significant volume.
And with that Shortcode price, it includes a generic Shortcode for that price. So it's not $9.99 plus an extra fee, it's included.
Awesome. All right, well, we went 2 minutes over, so thank you everybody for staying on. Ben, thanks so much for joining me. Hope everybody enjoyed and learned a little something. And if you want a full demo with either Celerant or OtterText, just reach out. Our contact info is on the screen. Have a great day, y'all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, y'all.